You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, here we are. It's Super Bowl week. You guys know I'm a Niners fan, so of course I'm a little nervous right now. Super Bowl is coming. This is a huge week. I think it's a huge week for the legacy of Kyle Shanahan, and it's a big week for the future, and you heard me say it, the future of Brock Purdy. And I like Brock Purdy a lot, a hell of a lot, probably more than most. But look, he hasn't looked great in the playoffs, and regardless of whether or not he's ranked, I believe he finished the season 6th. I believe it was 6th on PFF in their quarterbacks. Yes, I am correct, 6th. That's the 6th best quarterback in the league. Well, the problem is Lamar Jackson was number 2, and he got the shit kicked out of him by the Kansas City Chiefs. The defense of the Chiefs is real, and it's a big week because I think Kyle Shanahan is a lot like John Gruden. I think he likes a lot of different quarterbacks. John Gruden always loved to collect quarterbacks, and Kyle Shanahan loves to believe he can make a Super Bowl winner out of any quarterback. Well, let's get to Tom Brady, because this story floated around about 10 days ago. I almost did a video on it, but buried in an ESPN story was the fact that the Niners tried to sign Tom Brady before the season. Brock Purdy is the one that came out and said it. Well, 49ers kind of hemmed and hawed around about it, and the media, for whatever reason, has really failed to truly go after the Niners on this. Enter in Peter King, because Peter King got an interview with Shanahan, and he straight up asked him, did you try to sign Tom Brady to be the starter prior to the 2023 season? This is the question. Hey, were you serious about trying to sign Tom Brady? Well, he answered. Shanahan told him, quote, I'm glad you asked me that question. Okay. You're glad? This is his answer. Yes, I was serious about it. The week of the Super Bowl, you admit you tried to sign Tom Brady before the season started. All right. That's one way to go. As we talked about, I'm looking at Brock, and he's got an arm in a sling, and I am really not sure I've got a quarterback who's ready for the start of the 2023 season. That started all of this. So Kyle Shanahan literally just confirmed that they did try to sign Tom Brady before the season. And, you know, there was a rumor about a month ago that Tom Brady joked about almost coming out of retirement in May. I think this was it. All right? I think this was it. Now, the Niners should have signed Tom Brady in 2020, because I think on this team, and this team has been really damn good for 4 years, I think they might have had 2 Super Bowl wins by now. Because as of right now, it's a huge hole on Kyle Shanahan's resume. Again, I'm a Niners fan, but it's a massive hole when you consider how good these teams are that the Niners have had. Shanahan did not say why the 49ers ended up not signing Brady, who wanted to play for the 49ers in 2020, but the team passed. Brady, when asked the question last week, gave a non-answer. Shanahan also tried to spin the decision to press pause on Purdy's career. Quote, I actually thought it was giving Brock the biggest compliment, Shanahan said. I let him know he's our guy, no question. And if Tom Brady wanted to come here and start for 1 year, that's the only way you're not starting when you're healthy this year. That's pretty cool. I wanted to assure him, don't worry, you're our guy, but how cool would it be if Tom Brady would be the quarterback for 1 season? How cool would it be for you to learn from him? Okay. I mean, if Brock never got hurt, this wouldn't even be a consideration at all. I never have brought it up, but I've got to think about the team. What if he's not ready in September? And it goes on to talk about the fact this answers the question as to whether or not the Niners would actually pursue Kirk Cousins this offseason. It's been no secret. Kirk Cousins is like Kyle Shanahan's all-time favorite quarterback. His daddy, Mike Shanahan, drafted him. Kyle Shanahan was on that staff, that all-star coaching staff. That tells you all you need to know about RG3. I mean, the Shanahans literally took a second quarterback three rounds later. They knew RG3 wasn't going to be a long-term starter. And he certainly wasn't going to work in that system. But the point is, Kirk Cousins is about to be an unrestricted free agent. You got to wonder. I mean, this is a huge game for Brock Purdy. It is. Because let's say Tom Brady would have gotten signed. Will they sign him and they win the Super Bowl? Do you really believe that if Tom Brady wanted to come back and play another year, the Niners are going to tell him no for Brock Purdy after just winning one? No, Brock Purdy would be riding the bench again. This story's interesting. And now you got another story that the Niners are not happy with the practice facilities that they're having to deal with right now. I can't stand that we've got these little distractions coming up right now. You know, that's exactly what you're trying to avoid. Now, the Chiefs are dealing with a massive one because they got Taylor Swift to deal with and they got Patrick Mahomes Sr. that decided to tie one off too heavy. And he got arrested 40 minutes from where I live right now, a city I was in last week. Pat Mahomes Sr. is a pretty good guy, but man, I hope he gets some help. He's from right here around where I'm at, over in Lindale is where he was from. My best friend played baseball against Pat Mahomes. Man, it's pretty wild. The 49ers may have an early hurdle to clear in their Super Bowl preparations. According to CBS Sports' Jonathan Jones, San Francisco may be looking for a different practice setup than the one they've slated to have at UNLV. San Francisco on Sunday arrived in Las Vegas for the week-long lead up to the Super Bowl, but a handful of team personnel got ahead of the rest of the club to go ensure the practice facilities are to their liking. Jones on Monday reported the 49ers weren't happy with the softness of the sod the NFL laid on top of the turf at UNLV practice facility, indicating it's softer than they prefer it be. You know what concerns me about this? ACLs and torn Achilles tendons. I don't like the sound of this at all. It's not a safety issue. Since it's not a safety issue, instead just a matter of preference, there may be many avenues for the 49ers to justify it. There may not be many avenues to justify a switch. Jones wrote that the 49ers could negotiate with the NFL to practice at the Raiders facility where the Chiefs are holding their sessions. They could also bring in their own firmer sod if they don't want to roll forward with what's available at UNLV. Unless the team really believes there is a safety issue, it's hard to imagine they'd go through the process of trying to change practice facilities at this juncture. Head coach Kyle Shanahan has already detailed how difficult it is to prepare for the Super Bowl on a normal schedule amid all the festivities and responsibilities leading up to the game. Adding in a variable of where they'll practice doesn't seem like something they'd be keen on doing. I'm going to tell you, this doesn't sound like that big a story. I think it's a huge story. I think week of Super Bowl, you've got to try to strive for as much normalcy as you can get. And Kyle Shanahan and Brock Purdy have a lot riding on this. They do. I mean, Kyle Shanahan's not going anywhere. I mean, he's now been to how many NFC championship games and now been to what? 2 Super Bowls, 3 if you count the Atlanta Falcons as an offensive coordinator. So he's not in peril of losing his job, but there is a legacy factor there. All right, there is. And you've got a Pro Bowl-like roster. But then again, the Ravens had a very good roster too, and they lost to the Chiefs, who I'm starting to look at a different way on offense. For the longest time, I was like, this is the year you're going to get the Chiefs. If you're going to knock them out, do it this year. Well, Rice has progressed to being a good wide receiver, a really good wide receiver. Kelsey is playing the form in the playoffs. And Pacheco, well, he looks like a badass at running back. I mean, it's a quadruple threat for the Chiefs, so it's concerning as a Niners fan. It really is. I know a lot of people are just flat betting the Chiefs right now. They're like, look, Patrick Mahomes is going to win it in the fourth quarter. Niners were up by 10 in the last one they played. It's a huge game. And if Brock Purdy does have one of these weird games where he throws 3 or 4 picks, well, don't think for a second that Kyle Shanahan's not going to start looking around and winking at Kirk Cousins this offseason. That's going to be a narrative. It's a huge game. It's a huge game for Brock Purdy. It's absolutely crazy. Tell me what you think, black and white sports supporters. Practice facilities messed up. Bringing up Tom Brady stories. No, just go play. Win the game. My God, Steve Wilkes, do something on defense. I'm like that meme where the little guy's got the stick and he's poking Steve Wilkes. Do something. I know we made the Super Bowl. I hope he's gone after the season. Get somebody that can run D'Amico Ryans, Robert Saleh, Pete Carroll's system back in there. Kyle Shanahan. I'm not bought into Steve Wilkes at all. I wasn't as a coach. I'm not as a coordinator. I don't care how good they were the second half of that one game. We had games where that defense looked effed this season. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.